Welcome, welcome. My name is Zoe D'Agostino, and I will be your instructor for this life biology course. Now, the beauty of this course is that we have the unique opportunity for this hybrid class to actually have your lab and lecture in the same course shell. So there should be a nice seamless transition going from your lectures to labs. Now, keeping in mind, for this to be a Life 102 course, so for you to get credit for Life 102 biology at CSU, you have to meet all of these learning objectives, okay? See as they trail on the screen? All right, so all of these learning objectives are the ones that we go through in Life 102 biology in our 16-week courses. And for it to be considered a Life 102 course, you still have to be able to meet all of these expectations. So what does that mean? That means that when we start, we are hitting the ground running, okay? There are basically 6 units of material in this class, usually spread over 16 weeks, right? So really do a deep dive into it and immerse yourself in the material and try to have fun with it, okay? So the way that this class is laid out, every day you are going to have lecture videos that you need to complete, as well as activities that you need to complete that pertain to the lecture videos, okay? So the scaffolding and how it works in this class is you are going to watch lectures, or if you choose to do readings, that's fine. Learn the material, right? Phase number 1 is learn, okay? Phase number 2 is assess, which is where we get your participation points put in. So it's a hybrid class. So how do you earn participation? You earn participation by answering questions while you're watching your lecture videos or doing your reading, okay? Now, unfortunately, we can't have you answer like in the moment. So how it's going to look is you're going to watch a video, and then in the video, usually questions will appear either within the video or below the video, okay? And those questions are then going to be taken and put into a little assessment that we call your PPOs, or your participation point opportunities, and they should be the exact same. So it's nothing new and there's no timing. It's literally just, did you do the work, right? Did you understand the concept, okay? So it's not asking for you to really apply anything. It's really just asking like, did you do the thing, okay? So that should be like the easy money stuff is what I like to call it, right? So giving you chances to get points throughout the semester without having to use too many brain cells, okay? So that's the assess phase, okay? So we have learn, then assess, and then we have your apply phase. The apply phase is your activities, okay? So throughout the semester or every day that you have content, you're also going to have activities, okay? So that is where we're going to try to apply what we're learning and tying in lab and lecture content all together harmoniously. All right, so that's that phase. And then after your apply phase, you have your questioning phase. Well, I think I actually switched those. Yeah, you learn, then you assess with your PPOs. And then before we actually go on to applying things, another thing that you have on your plate to think about is what I like to call the questioning phase. A really important part of science is learning to work collaboratively with people and knowing what you don't know, right? So if you have questions that appear as you are learning your content, every Wednesday you're expected to think critically about the content and develop questions surrounding what you learned. So these could either be questions that you genuinely have, and so like gaps in your knowledge that you need answered by your peers, or they can be challenge questions, I kind of like to say, where you can posit questions to your peers to kind of provoke thought in a way that forwards the educational journey of your peers, okay? But either way, every Wednesday you're going to post questions that pertain to what you've learned this week. And then every Friday you're going to respond to the questions that your peers posted, okay? So collaboration is a very important part of science, as well as being able to know what you don't know so you can ask questions about it and then get those questions answered, right? So that's that. And then to round it all out, remember that long list of learning objectives I showed you before? Well, at the end of the semester, you actually are going to have to answer every single one of these. And so to space this out for you so it's not a daunting task at the end of the semester, what we're going to do is we have broken down all these learning objectives into chunks, okay? And so what does that mean? That means at the end of every unit, I'm going to pull out the learning objective questions that pertain to that unit material, and you are going to type out or draw out whatever works for you. You're basically just going to go through and answer and show understanding for each prompt in that learning objectives list. So that way you're filling it out throughout the semester. So by the end of the semester, you already have the document fully typed out and done, and you can just submit it and not have to worry about it at the end. Okay? And so that's what I like to call the evaluate phase of our learning cycle. And then the other part of our evaluate phase happens after your laboratory experience. So your laboratory experience is designed to help you apply what you learned in real world scenarios, right? The activities that you do at home are also designed to facilitate this. However, not all activities or application of concepts can be done at home. Sometimes you need real lab equipment to do real life lab procedures, right? And so when you come in for lab, we're going to do real scientific procedures that people actually get paid to do as their jobs. So that's kind of fun. We're doing a lot of biotechnological procedures, but you're going to apply what you learned there. And then you're going to come home, and Monday after you're done with the lab, you're going to have your, what I call your post labs due that Monday night. And those are basically questions that are asking you about your lab content and how you applied what you learned, making sure we're kind of having an equal understanding of what's going on in the class and what we're learning and how it all ties together. So the first part of your post lab will be about the lab. Now the second part of your post lab is going to be you working through case studies, so real world scenarios, solving real world problems. And you're going to use the knowledge that you gained throughout the entire unit to answer or solve and work through those case studies, which is actually really cool. So a lot of students have indicated to me that they actually prefer this method of quote unquote assessment to traditional exams. So we were actually able to get rid of fully traditional exams in this class. There's only one thing in this class that's debatably like an exam at the very end of the semester, but you get 2 tries at that. And so it's not even that is not really like a traditional exam. So we do post labs working through case studies instead of exams in this class. And I have yet to have a student that hasn't said they prefer that model. So hoping you find it as enjoyable as our previous students too. So keeping in mind though, what I just presented to you is all that has to be done in an entire week's worth of time every single week. So making sure that you're pacing yourself appropriately and communicating with me if something goes awry is very important, right? So if you ever need an extension on something, I am here to help facilitate that, but I can only do so, as it says in the syllabus, if you give me advanced notice, right? I need at least 24 to 48 hours of notice to give you an extension. So if you miss a deadline and you communicate that with me after the fact, I can no longer go back in and change your due date. But if you let me know in advance, hey, I'm having a hard time, I need a little bit more time, I'm happy to facilitate that for you. That's the beauty of a mostly online class, is that if we have some notice, we can make some easy adaptations. Also, because this is a hybrid class, so our labs are still in person, right? So make sure you read the syllabus carefully. Our labs are still in person, even if our lectures are online. That being said, that means that I am also going to be around all summer. So if you need to meet with me at any point, I'm happy to do that via Zoom, but I'm also going to be around CSU campus if you ever need to schedule an in-person meeting with me and chat and go over concepts, right? I teach biology because I love biology and I love teaching. So if there's anything that you want to chat about or learn more about, please feel free to reach out to me anytime, okay? All right, well, hold on tight, the ride's about to start and it's going to be a fast one, okay? So hang in there, you got this.